Hi, welcome to With Love from LA. I'm Mark DeClive Lowe. First up, do subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications so you can keep in touch with everything we have going on. So we're spotlighting our favorite independent LA creators every month and sharing artists who some of you might not know about yet and bringing them directly to you through conversation and online concerts. With Love from LA is generously supported by the City of Glendale Arts and Culture Commission. Today's In Conversation guest, she'll also be performing her in concert stream for us next Tuesday, is the multi-instrumentalist, harpist, pianist, guitarist, vocalist, sound healer, beat maker, producer, and plenty more, Lowleaf. And she's born and raised in LA, and the Filipina independent artist as she's performed all over the world and runs her own label and brand, Create or Die. And today we get to know a little bit about her life, her process, and how LA is such a special part of her story. Welcome, Eve.
Hi. Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Wow, the lighting just drastically changed
Look
since
at you.
the sunset.
You're bathed in like purple and pink. I love it.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
That's the vibe. So thank you for joining us. This is awesome. And can you tell us a bit about yourself and where you grew up and how music became a focus in your life?
I grew up in the valley of LA, kind of pretty sheltered, and spent most of my time kind of like by myself in books, and just really love music and just like playing by myself, like in my backyard and like wherever I was allowed to like run around. And music started being a big part of my life once I started piano lessons, like when I was 5.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was like forced to play, and that's like something that, I was forced to do, but I wanted to do it at the same time, but I like hated it and would like run away during piano. But my relationship to music has obviously evolved since then, but like that's how it started.
That's you and me both, being forced to play.
Yeah.
I think it's funny how I just think it's a whole difference when some people say maybe they go to a gig and they might see the bass player and be like, oh my God, I want to play bass, but it's a whole different experience when your parents are just being like, no, do that.
Yeah, like you have to practice. Like that was like I didn't really have like a social life like that. Like even in high school, like people will go out for like the football game on Fridays, and that's when I had piano lessons, so
Sure. Mm-hmm.
it's like that's just, I guess, what I signed up for in this lifetime.
In this life.
Yeah, like as a child, like I was just, and I'm glad I got it in though, yeah.
So, and how did that evolve from beyond the piano?
Well, I picked up the guitar when I was like 14. Oh, and like I also took like harp lessons for a year, like when I was in 4th grade.
Okay.
And I learned like how to play the Little Mermaid and stuff, but my harp teacher retired like really, really quickly. So I never really like advanced, and there were no harp teachers in my area. So that kind of just stayed in the corner, like, just in the corner collecting dust. And when I was 14, I started teaching myself how to play guitar, and that's where I started to like write songs. And I would just like record myself on like a little voice recorder, so onto tape. And then I was like, yo, like I want to make music that I hear in my head and like produce and stuff, like Bjork and sing and all this stuff. So yeah. My dad got me Cakewalk, and that's like when I started like recording like just like acoustic guitar songs, and I was like 15.
Okay.
Like in high school. And then when I was like a senior in high school, I like got a hold of Reason somehow, and that's when I started to like experiment with like making beats. But it felt really separate. Like there was just like beats stuff, and then there was just like my singer-songwriter stuff. And they stayed separate for a really long time until I was like, I really want to merge these two parts of myself, you know?
Right.
And that didn't really happen until like years later, like post college, you know?
What did you study at college?
Well, I tried to be a music major when I was a freshman, but they didn't have like music production. Like it was just piano performance.
Right.
Nothing like really creativity based. And I was just like, I'm gonna drop out. But my parents were like, you're still going to college. So I studied media, like media studies.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how I started to learn how to use Final Cut Pro and Pro Tools. And I like every project I did, I kind of just related it to music somehow.
Right.
So I think that's how like I got used to just like having my hands on everything in the creative process.
So that's pretty cool where your parents, when they made you do things, making you learn piano, making you stay in college. And those are things which have really given you a lot of value and ability, right?
Yes. Yeah. I feel super privileged because like, I didn't realize it at the time. It's just like everyone has to go to college, but like some people like have to pay for school. And like, I had to just go to school because it just wasn't an option not to have an education.
Right.
So yeah, I figured like, there's this word I'm looking for. Oh, like I was just paying my dues. Like I just have to do this. And then once I get it out of the way, then I'm gonna just do what I really want to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so when you started making beats, what was the vibe? Like what kind of stuff were you inspired by?
I was really inspired by like Aphex Twin, Portishead, and like LP, and like I wanted to make beats like for rap, and I really liked gritty sounds with like just lots of bass and just like lots of drums and stuff. So the sound I guess that I was making was just like everything was just experimenting, like to see what I was capable of. So I didn't really have a sound. It was kind of just all over the place because I was just learning.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's really, come together in such a unique way now. Everything, all the stuff I hear you do, whether it's kind of more beats based or more song based, it definitely has that low leaf sound. So it's all definitely assimilated nicely.
Yeah. There's a plane going overhead.
All good.
It's really loud. Yeah, I feel like there was like a definite point like before I created or discovered a sound for myself, where I was just like making music kind of without like greater purpose. Like it was just to express the emotions and stuff, which of course has value. But I don't think it was until I started incorporating the harp and like my live instrumentation into my production that I was like finding myself in the beats and stuff.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean that combination of harp and beats, that's I don't know anyone else who does that. So it's definitely unique.
It's a thing now,
Well, harp and beats is a thing.
Yeah, maybe just like in my algorithm, like I'm like seeing more harpists, producers.
Right. Okay.
And I'm just like, oh, word. Okay. And it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, but they know who the OG is.
They're gonna know if they don't. Like,
right?
Yeah, I still feel like I need to let people know. But it's just a matter of time of like me actually waking up to myself to be real.
I get that. It's the same journey for all of us, right? Whether we're artists or whatever our passions may be. It's a journey of discovery and unfolding and learning, and it just never ends.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. And I know, like, and for you, your Filipino roots are really important to you. And is that consciously part of your art and music?
Like, I put it in the intention, sometimes like I made a record where I was like, all right, this is for the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
But like not all the time, like I give it up, right? Like just acknowledging and just like honoring that, like without them I wouldn't be, but I think like when it comes down to it, like when I'm really just like connected to the spirit of music, like it's beyond all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's universal.
Yeah. Like I feel like like it doesn't exist,
Right. No, I get that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so, like, being born and raised LA, you're a rarity, right? Like, so many people come to LA, myself included, and so many LA artists are just we're not Angelinos, we're transplants, but not in your case. And I'm curious how, being born and raised here, living here, do you have a consciousness around how LA affects your creativity and your process?
Yeah, I'll be honest, like I've seen a lot of things, just from like the sidelines, just like
Mm-hmm.
watching a lot of people that I've known just like grow to success, and just seeing the general landscape, like grew up around a lot of rich girls, and at some point even like got super jaded like to the whole game,
Mm-hmm.
But I think ultimately, like, I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, and I get really inspired just being here in this like portal of so much energy. Like there's like a vibrancy that I feel like I can just like plug into, that we collectively create, even though there's definitely like a lot of energy to discern through,
Yeah.
I feel like that's like with any place, but maybe it's like a certain way in LA, because like everyone like is trying to make it, everyone's somebody. So there's like its own challenges with that. But I think if you know who you are, and like you're really rooted in what you're doing, and like you stay humble and like can give it up to people, and like you have like genuine friends and support and like a community, then I feel like you can really find your own way to thrive, because there's space for everybody to sustain here.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like I feel like it's so small, yet it's so vast that anyone can carve a space for themselves and be recognized if you're real, if you're a real one. So
what I noticed when I first started coming here to tour before I moved here, one thing that really struck me with LA was how open the sky is. How almost no matter where we are in LA, you can see like 180 degrees of blue sky. And that's a rarity, like anywhere in the world, unless you're out in the middle of nowhere. But to be in a metropolitan center and have that much openness to the sky, I feel like that's really unique. And seems to, for me, kind of reflects that energy and that possibility here. There's this, it's like this, that kind of adage of the sky's the limit. It's like, well, we have open access to the sky here.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's such a good point. And that's kind of one of my favorite parts of LA too, is just like the sun.
Oh my God.
And the weather. Like I grew up here, so maybe, I take it for granted, like this is just the way it is, But when I travel and like come back, it's just like, oh, it feels so good to be home. Like there's something about like the air metaphorically, you know, like that's very inspiring and refreshing.
Oh, there really is.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you miss the travel? Since
I do, yo.
Yeah.
I've been getting waves of it. Like, man, like I used to travel every year, like to go on tour in Europe, you know, and I was like, Europe again. Like, but it's weird. Like sometimes I'll just like smell the train station, like a whiff in the air, and I'll just like be taken back to like how the air feels in Europe, and it's like again croissants and like, things. I don't know, just things like, that I like.
Amazing croissants that are not $5.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But that's real. How like, you know, different places the air is. It feels and it smells different. I mean, for me, that's like I think of Japan like that. Like the air in Japan has a very distinct quality.
Right.
And once in the blue moon, I've been somewhere which is not Japan, and I'll sense that exact thing. And it just really captures your everything, doesn't it? It's like, wow, where am I right now? It's almost like deja vu.
Yeah, there's something that, well, the sense of smell is like the sense that can like let us time travel like immediately, you know, or just it can spark memories and like feelings stored in our body and stuff. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like when I step out of the plane in the Philippines, I'm like, oh shit, I'm here. Like it's thick, you know. But,
so that's like, you know, speaking of the, you know, the air and the energy and the feel of it. I know that these are all, you know, really, you know, things which you are really you resonate with a lot. And I know sound healing's become part of your work over the last few years as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me about that. How did that come into play?
In 2014, I went to Mount Shasta for the first time, and that's like the root chakra of the earth. And I was just getting this clear feeling of inspiration that I should explore sound healing. And I felt like I would know how to do it. So I acquired some singing bowls, and for a year I just spent time like studying, doing my own research, and just experimenting with the frequencies and like how to approach it and how things are making me feel in my body. And I started doing like public pop-up sound baths around LA. I did a couple, but I stopped because it was too much to find, you know, places, and my dreams were telling me like to just stop because I wasn't like rooted enough to like carry this for everybody. And so from then I just decided to do private sound baths so I could like really connect with people and tap in. And then, you know, afterwards I have to clear myself, and because sometimes I absorb shit, I'm like really empathic, and I had to learn about that like in a more embodied way, and just like do more root work, do more shadow work, because I was doing a lot of light work, but around 2014, 15, I hadn't done any shadow work, so I didn't know how to balance everything, and I wasn't fully embodied. So since then I've decided to like do meditation mixtapes so I could still offer that but have people experience it in their own time. And I incorporate like plant frequencies and like nature sounds, like field recordings, and yeah, like I haven't done one in a while, but I have some in the works that I'll be releasing this year, and we'll see what happens. Like I miss doing it, but now it's kind of like everyone's a sound healer. So like every time like something becomes kind of like, every time something kind of becomes crowded, like I just tend to like back off and find something else. I don't know why, but that's what I feel that
I mean, those meditation mixtapes they're really beautiful, and I love that you incorporate your whole range of creativity in them. It's like, you can hear it's you. And so I think, you're offering something really unique, regardless of how many people there are doing sound healing. You have your own modality with it.
Right.
And I think that's important. And, people who connect with that, obviously now, meaning the last year plus, and the future and the present, it's really needed right now.
Yeah. I don't want to like put down people that are discovering sound healing, because I feel like if anyone feels called to do that for their own growth, that's beautiful. It's more just me like just finding how the best way to offer like what it is that I do, where it still like feels good for me in the whole process. So the meditation mixtapes has been really just healing for me too, because like incorporating plants at the same time, like I literally get to jam with plants.
Who's your favorite plant to jam with?
Bird of paradise. Oh wait, well,
no.
That was my first one, but to be honest, I really love jamming with cannabis.
Hey, so each plant has its own frequency, yeah, when it comes to
the
music.
Yeah, they'll respond differently to the sounds, to people if they enter a room. It's like it's crazy, like the biofeedback you get. I know it's like dope, and it's like every plant that I happen to like be called to do, like whatever flower essence medicine that they can help with on an emotional level, has to do with like what I'm going through or what like could be useful to people. So it all feels very divinely guided, and there's no rush to it. Like at first I was trying to be like, all right, every new moon, but it's kind of just like whenever I feel inspired, because like, what is time? I don't know.
What is time? so I'm a little aware, but for people who are not really aware of talking about jamming with plants, so you're connecting senses to the leaves, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then the sensors read essentially the vibrations of the plant and translate those to MIDI.
Into MIDI,
right?
Yeah.
That's wild, right? Just that alone is wild.
Yeah, there is this really beautiful company. They used to go by MIDI Sprout, but now they go by Plantwave.
Plantwave, nice.
Yeah, and they've been like upgrading their device, and I've like yet to try the new one. They hooked me up with one, but I haven't plugged in yet, because it's just like when I do, like I'm gonna go all the way in.
For real.
But yeah, like my friend Joe, who like helped make it with his partner, like he's such a beautiful soul, and has a really wonderful like connection with like nature, and just like it's really cool that like it exists, and it's like accessible to people, so like a lot of people can just buy it for themselves and like plug in and like, receive the benefits of.
And then that MIDI data can trigger anything, right? Light, sound, anything. So
I haven't tried lights.
Try it. Let's see what happens. But just that to say, like anyone who tries it could have a whole different relationship with what it does.
Yeah. So like when I put it into live or into Ableton, it's different than when I put it into like my synth. So whatever it is that you use, like it'll be unique.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So mentioning the reasons why we need more meditation mixtapes, and all the craziness we've been going through the last year, and not really knowing when we're going to come out of it. Does that all not just the coronavirus, but obviously, especially in this country, we've had a lot of uprising and upheaval sociopolitically. Does that influence your art and how and why you create, or not?
I feel like maybe not as obviously or like deliberately. always am feeling what's happening in the collective, you know,
Yeah.
like you can't not be tapped into what's happening, especially because I'm in LA. And I wasn't sure, like I wasn't really even creating music for like a bulk of this year because I was just doing a lot of inner work, you know, and microdosing a lot, like plant medicine. And by the end of the year, like I just whipped out this like project inspired by shadow work, which is what I feel like everyone collectively is going through right now, like even like as like a nation, you know. So it's like, okay, so I'm connected, but it's gonna come through me as a vessel, like in its own way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like it's a really like personal project, and I really try to balance how much I'm taking in, because it's easy for me to get overwhelmed, but I don't want to be in the dark of what's happening. So I've been learning how to have really like honest boundaries with myself, to where like when I'm taking in information, like if it's becoming unhealthy for me, you know, because in the middle of the year, like it was really like I didn't know how to stop. Like I started to become really addicted to the news, and it's like I never used to fuck with the news like that, but like but how can you not just like feel what's going on? So
doom scrolling.
Yeah. I think that like to be an artist in this time now, like it's gonna be impossible to not like reflect the times in whatever way. So that I'm excited for that, because I feel like with my artistry, even up until like recently, I didn't realize that I had like created this like musical aesthetic for myself, to where I didn't know how to express like denser emotions through my art and music. You know, it's like I exist in these realms, and it's just like, how do I process things when I'm feeling like some bitch pissed me off? Like, how do I translate that into a song and like have it be constructive and like still like just alchemize it into something beautiful, you know? And so I think like when we're all kind of going through something really heavy, it kind of forces us, especially artists, to take what's happening and make art about it, and just like be honest about your experience. And it's kind of just like peeling off more veils and layers that you didn't even know were there. And I think that's what the beautiful thing about these like tough like periods of time are. It's just like we get more honest with ourselves, and like shit gets more real. And like that's what being an artist is about, I feel.
100%. I mean, I think you really nailed it just a little earlier, mentioning, you know, talking about doing light work and shadow work, and the dark stuff going on in this country and around the world. That's the shadows. And you know, however that manifests in each artist's artistry, I think is totally valid and reflects our times. You know, whether it's literally like, you know, a literal protest song or something or not, it's still going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Crazy times, yo.
Yeah. Really potent times, transformative times.
So potent. And you know, I remember my dad would say, you know, back in a long time ago when he thought the world was going to end, he was his whole thing was like, yeah, it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets any better. And I think that's still, you know, where we're at. It's like we're really having to, you know, dredge everything out to get to the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, the healing process is painful.
Yeah.
You know, like it fucking like it's heavy, it's painful, and like yeah, but I think because of the internet and just how fast information can move around, which is like kind of, it's like there's two sides to that coin. We have more access to like tools of how to like just take care of our mental health, and how to organize, and how to, you know, just all the things that we need to do, like wherever your lane is for what you feel called to do. I think if you're just showing up for yourself, then you're contributing to the whole. And like, even if that means just like resting, you know,
rest is important, right?
Yeah, like rest is really important. because a lot of people are like carrying a lot of ancestral trauma. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all are to a degree.
Yeah, but some people don't even know it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just giving ourselves a chance to re-energize and recuperate is so important.
Yeah, that's a part of it.
Yeah. And so this whole time, obviously, venues are not a thing. Touring's not a thing, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
And, so much of the arts, not just music, but the arts in general, it all, revolves around community and thrives around community. And I mean, I get, none of us know without a crystal ball, but I just wonder, do you have any thoughts on how community kind of evolves and handles what we're going through?
Man, I really don't know, because like I don't really like feel the community like coming together like physically, so it's like I'm only like tapped in when I log in, so it's kind of just like I miss gathering in person.
Yeah.
I really really do. Like it's becoming like more apparent to me. I don't know where things are gonna go, but I do know that everyone, I hope, is like just working on themselves. And once we're able to like physically gather again, we're gonna be able to contribute more. But wait, I feel like you asked me a different question than what I'm answering.
It's all good.
Okay, my bad.
I mean, it makes me think of that. Thank God this is happening now, not say like 20 years ago. Like we have the technology to kind of have some semblance of connectivity and community that, and if it was the year 2000, no broadband and like just a whole different thing.
It's a concern for me because it's like so many of these platforms that were really like Instagram, for example, like it's owned by Facebook. There's like so much censorship. The algorithms are fucked. And it's like, that is I don't want to say the closest thing, but like that is my main thing where I reach out to my community, right? And the platform itself is kind of just like, you could say it's neutral, but it is designed to be addictive, and so I'm just I'm really curious about like other sacred spaces that could open up digitally and like what that would look like, and there's like awesome things like Patreon and like there's new apps like, I don't know, Clubhouse and stuff, and like different ways that people are exchanging frequencies. And that's cool. But I feel like, I wonder how things are going to evolve. Like once Instagram like falls apart and once Twitter, like, you know what I'm saying? Like once things phase out, because like everything always just keeps evolving. So.
It's inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet is definitely much bigger than Google and Twitter and all that, Facebook so there's I think we're going to see a lot of things in our lifetimes which we can't even imagine right now. Wow. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's a trip. That's yeah.
Okay, so next week we have your in concert live stream on Tuesday. So can you share with us a little about what you have in store for that?
I'm gonna play a lot of unreleased music.
Nice.
Some like some beats and like some songs, dropping off this new project that's coming out this year. And
does the new project have a name? Sorry.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It's called Microdose.
Nice.
Yeah. So Yeah, like I have a bunch of sounds from that. Then I'm like, that I essentially remixed to make into like different songs, like for the set. Yeah, and like an acoustic song, you know, just gonna make some loops, harp, keys, synths, vocals, beats.
Nothing special, just juggling it all at once at the same time. And
I'm learning how to sharpen all my swords, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's the Indian deity, right? With all the swords.
Oh, word.
Is it Shiva?
I'm not familiar.
I'm not sure either, but you know what I mean, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's honestly times when I'm just like, damn, I wish I had another arm. Like just just to hit this knob right quick. Like
I feel you. I feel you. It's like two hands is only two hands.
Yeah. It's like then it's like setting up the spaceship is really fun though, because it's like it's your spaceship. So it's been cool like working on this set, like figuring out the placement of all my tools.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you're pretty inspiring for that, because like you're one of the only people who like I see like with so much like in front of them with like the machines and all the keyboards. So it's like, okay, it's possible. You know,
it's definitely possible. Yeah.
So you can do it. And like, yeah.
I love with that, you know, when I see anyone doing like especially a solo, you know, hybrid electronic live production kind of set, everyone does it so differently. You know, like, I know, you know, like if you and I sat down at each other's spaceships, we wouldn't even be able to take off. You know?
I know.
But when we're in our own spaceships, it's like a cool game on. So, yeah. No, I'm excited for what you have to share, and that we get to share that with everyone. That's dope.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
Good to like, you know, like put it all together and just like see what I can offer this month, because like it's been a while since I've had to like put together like a set, you know. I miss it.
We're excited.
Yeah.
Okay,
hopefully it'll be dope.
So what's next? You mentioned the Microdose project. Do you have a schedule on that yet? Or?
So there's gonna be no schedule. It's like
I love it.
Yeah, I'm in the process of pressing it up on vinyl, and things are gonna kind of just like roll out as things are ready. So just working on some videos and yeah, just finalizing artwork and gonna just like do it in my own way.
As always, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get like a little, I'm like, oh, I need to have a release date, and then like the single's gonna drop, and then like the DSPs is just like
it's a lot.
It is a lot. And like I don't even consider Create or Die a label, you know. That's just like the name under the stuff that I do. Because I couldn't possibly, I don't want to say that I can't do something, but you know, I'm not trying to like run a label. It's kind of, I'm just trying to like just do my thing. So
but you know, as an umbrella, your Create or Die, you know, brand, for want of better words, it's so I love it. Like the way you spelt it with the DIY, and obviously the kind of the double meaning to it. It's very potent, and it really speaks to, you know, how your artistry is. So
thanks, yo.
It's dope.
Thanks. You know, it's like cool to be DIY now. You know, it's like it's cool to just do it yourself. And like for the longest, I was like, man, am I not legit because I don't have a label? I'm here DIYing shit. But now that's a thing, and I'm like, you know what? I was onto something. Let me just keep writing this out and see what happens.
You were always on it.
No more doubts, you know, like
no more
doubting. Like I'm just trying to go, yo. Like I've definitely spent a good amount of time looking at all that. And I feel like we all do as artists. But there's no more time for that. And if it comes up, be gentle with yourself. you know, we're still human, but it's like, just, you got this, you know? So,
You got this 100%.
Yeah, that's how I feel
Nice.
about that. But yeah.
Okay, so like we're on with Love from LA. So in the spirit of LA, if you could sum up your LA in a word or a sentence or a phrase, what would that be?
Whoa. Like my Los Angeles is a vast space of infinite possibilities where everyone can thrive and sustain if they stay true to who they are.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today and chatting.
Thanks for having me.
It's been
This
cool
was
to chop it up. And we're really looking forward to your in-concert session on Tuesday.
Yes.
So we'll see you then.
Alrighty.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Have an amazing rest of the week, month, day.
You too. You too.
Okay.
Have an amazing rest of the now.
Forever.
Forever.
All right.
Thank
Take it
you.
easy.
All right.
Peace.
Peace. And thank you all for watching. I'm Mark the Clive Lowe, and we've been in conversation with Low Leaf. Tune in 5 p.m. on Tuesday to hear her in-concert set. You can learn more about Low Leaf, including links to her music at our website with lovefrom.la. So before you go, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and remember to turn on notifications. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.